I'm uncomfortable. I'm not having a good time right now, but I'm pretending. Back at the beginning of the year, I placed running a 5K on my 2024 vision board. So in April, I figured I should probably get started on that. And I signed up to run the Building Brooklyn 5K in Prospect Park on June 18th. And I prepared for that race using the Just Run 0 to 5K program. So me being who I am, I of course documented this entire experience. I have a ton of vlog footage from the past few months. So in this video, I'm gonna share what the Just Run app even is and how it works. I'm gonna share my personal experience, both mentally and physically, with being a new runner. And of course, I vlogged the race day. The race days. There ended up being 2 of them, but we'll get to that later. I'm getting ahead of myself. If this is the first video of mine you're stumbling across, hello, welcome. I'm so excited to have you. My name's Hannah. I am currently 29 years old and I live in New York City with my husband Ross and our cat Rory. And oh, I also just want to mention that I'm not sponsored or anything by the Just Run app. I am just a regular user of this app sharing my experience. So let's get into it. So first of all, what even is the Just Run app? It has a 0 to 5K program and a 5K to 10K program. Today, as I said, we're talking about the 0 to 5K program, which is a 9-week program that is structured to gradually build you up to being able to run 30 minutes at a time without stopping or walking. It's very, very gradual. In the first week, you are only running for 1 minute at a time before having a walking break. So it really just builds you up very slowly so that you can do it safely and in a way that's not going to overwhelm you. If you're familiar with the more well-known Couch to 5K app, this is very, very similar, only Couch to 5K costs money and this one is completely free. I also want to mention that I kind of feel like the name of this program and others like it is a little bit misleading because the end goal is running 30 minutes without stopping. And if you are a brand new runner, you are likely not going to be running an entire 5K distance within 30 minutes. You know, to be more accurate, it should probably be called like 0 to 30 minutes, but that's just not near as catchy. But I will say, if you can run 30 minutes straight without stopping, you're likely to be able to run a 5K. So there's that. Each week of the 9-week program has 3 runs in it that are structured so that you are taking a rest day in between each run and 2 rest days in between each week. So for your first week, if your runs are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, your next run for week 2 is going to be planned for Monday, not Sunday. So you got like a extra little rest in between there. So for the first several weeks, all of your runs in 1 week are exactly the same. So for the entire first week, you are running 1 minute at a time. You're doing a total of running 8 minutes, and it's structured so that each of those bursts of running have 1.5 minute walking breaks in between them. So how the app works is that when you are ready to go, you click start and you keep your headphones in, you can play your music or whatever, but a voice will interrupt your music and tell you when to walk and when to run, and it also tells you when you're at the halfway point, so if you need to turn around and run home, you can do that. I really, really loved this feature. I loved that I didn't have to be like looking down at my Fitbit to see when I should be doing the intervals, and you know, I could just have it going in my ear, listening to my music, doing my thing, and it would tell me what to do, and I could do it completely mindlessly. I apparently didn't take any vlog footage during week 1. I don't know, maybe I didn't realize I was gonna make this video yet. I feel like I did though. Maybe I just thought I had a different format in mind. I don't know. Anyway, there's no vlog footage from week 1, but I found it pretty easy. Honestly, I didn't have a hard time with it, and I think that was really good because it kept me motivated. If I was really, really struggling, it would have made me more likely to want to quit, I think. So I think it's definitely paced so that that doesn't happen. But I do have some vlog footage for me talking during week 2 where I was doing 9 minutes of total running that was divided into 1.5 minute bursts of running, 2 minute walking breaks. Hello, I just got back from my second run of week 2 on the Just Run app. I'm still not finding the runs super difficult, which I feel is a good thing. Like, it's easy to want to kind of speed through it since I'm still finding it easy, but I feel like that's good. Like, I am still getting my heart rate up, working up a sweat, but I don't come home feeling like I'm gonna die, right? So that's probably good, I guess. Yeah. I personally found the first 3 weeks of the program to be pretty easy for me personally. If that's not you, that's totally okay. We're all on a different journey here. But I also wasn't coming from zero fitness necessarily. I live in New York City. I walk multiple miles daily. I'm usually hitting my 10,000 steps a day. You know, I have been a gym, elliptical, treadmill girly in the past. I've never been able to stick to it. Like, I go through bursts of going to the gym a lot and then just completely stopping. But you know, I did have some fitness background a little bit. I've never been a road runner. This is my first experience really like running outside on the street. But you know, I do have a background of being somewhat fit. So I think that's why it was a little easier for me in the beginning, but I still stuck to the program exactly as it was written out because I really wanted to be safe about it and make sure that I wasn't gonna overwhelm myself and just give up. I will say I did deviate from the program a little bit later on. We'll get to that, but here in the beginning, I was following it exactly as it said to. Week 3 was also 9 minutes of total running, just like week 2 was, but it divides it up so that you're running for longer. So your bursts of running are 3 minutes at a time, and that's separated by, I don't remember. I'll pop it up right here. The bright yellow is walking and the darker yellow is running. Hi, I am doing my stretches before I head out for a run. And today is maybe the first day that I just really have not wanted to do it. It's week 3, day 3. I do not want to run. I really don't. The weather is so foul today. It's like gray and misty, you know, where it like kind of sprinkle rains, but also doesn't really sprinkle rain, you know, and I just, I don't want to. I finished. I pushed myself really hard that one, but I did it. Okay. Week 4 was the week that I first felt like I started to struggle with it, but it was also the week that I started to get really into it and just decide that I was really enjoying running. It really amps it up from week 3. In week 3, I was just doing 9 minutes of total running, same for week 2, so it had been a while of that. But in week 4, you do 16 minutes of running, and it's also divided so that you are running up to 5 minutes at a time, which at the time felt like so much. A lot happened during this week. This was when I decided that, you know, I wanted to maybe get a little more serious about it, and I started reading up on proper form and strength training and trying to be really diligent about making sure to stretch before each run. I followed a YouTube video for my stretching. It was just a quick 5-minute video with some dynamic stretches. I will link that in the description because I still use it every single time I run. I had also this whole time been struggling with getting shin splints a little bit, and I decided that my super old Nikes just weren't cutting it anymore. And when I say old, I mean I got them in college. Like, they were probably almost 10 years old. So I went to a Fleet Feet store and they analyzed my foot. I had to walk across this machine and it did all these scans and then said which shoes were gonna be good options for me. I tried on 3 different pairs of shoes and ended up with the one that the scanner thing thought was the best shoe for me. So it must be pretty on because I love the shoe. I wear the New Balance 1080s version 13 and they are just so cushy and comfortable and wonderful, and I really like them. If you have a store like that available where you're at, I would highly recommend going and getting your foot analyzed because my shin splints are completely gone. I've not had a single shin splint since I got the new shoes. So my last run of week 4, I think, was one of my most favorite runs that I did this whole time. I just had so much fun with it and I vlogged it, so here I am. Hello, it is week 4, day 3, and I'm doing something super exciting today. I am running to Domino Park in Williamsburg from downtown Brooklyn to get tacos after my run. I don't think I'm gonna be able to run the whole way, so part of it's gonna be a walk, but that's okay. Here we go. I wish I had eaten my toast maybe a little further from my run, but it's all right. So I just finished my run. I added a little extra onto the end, actually, not a whole lot. About 5 minutes total, about 1.5 minutes of walking, 3.5 of running, just because I got slowed down at a really confusing intersection. I couldn't figure out which way to go, and then ended up having to wait on like a gajillion stoplights because I couldn't make up my mind. I should have just kept going and figured it out later, but that felt so good, and I'm so excited to just be like out on a beautiful day, headed toward my tacos in a beautiful park. It's a great day. I did it! Yay! Oh, I feel so good. I am just enjoying running so much. I am so happy that I came up here and that now I'm just like here and able to walk around and enjoy my day after the run. I'm just looking so forward to when I can run longer and run further distances and just like see so much of the city that way. So as you heard me say, the last run of week 4 was the first time that I deviated from what the app said and ran a little bit extra. And this is something that I continue to do just a little bit sometimes from here on out. I also started to not do 2 rest days in between weeks, but just 1, because I wanted to speed the program along a little bit, because the 5K that I signed up for was before I was finishing the program, and it still ended up that way. My 5K, I think, was the second run of the final week. So I was just trying to get through it a little bit faster, and I felt comfortable in being able to do that. I never pushed myself further than I thought was healthy and that I was capable of doing safely. I discussed this with a friend of mine who's a more serious runner. We are different people. If you're watching this and you're also doing this program and you feel like you shouldn't be doing that, or that you need to repeat weeks, or whatever it may be, you know, listen to your own body. I am such a new runner. I'm not qualified to give anybody advice. I'm just sharing my experience. Maybe you are a more serious runner watching this and you're like, oh no, why did you do that? I'm fully aware that, you know, I have a lot to learn. So please don't take any of this as advice. It's just what I did and what I felt like worked for me. I will say that I personally feel like I was very careful, but you know, I don't know. Week 5 is the very first week of the program where the runs don't stay the same each time. The first one was 5-minute runs separated by 3-minute walking breaks, and week 5 version of me was apparently just really on a vlogging kick, so I'm gonna shut up and let past me take it away. It is day 2 of week 5, and I'm about to run in Brooklyn Bridge Park for the first time, and I'm so excited about it. I always see people running down here and I'm like, oh, that looks so nice. And it's such a beautiful evening. It's just after 7 o'clock. I'm like, just look at it. Like, there's not a better place to run. So I just got home. I look insane. It is definitely going to be harder to run as the weather starts to get hotter, but I did it. It was an 8-minute run, 5-minute walk, 8-minute run on day 2 of week 5. And week 5 is the first one where the runs are changing each time instead of being the same all week. And my next run in 2 days is 20 minutes straight with no walking breaks, and I am super nervous. All right, y'all, today is the day. I am about to head out into the 77-degree sunny weather outside to do my first 20-minute run with no walking breaks I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited. I'm feeling cute in my new sports bra that I just got in the mail yesterday. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm excited. Ross is coming too, so that's good. We're gonna go run on the Manhattan Bridge. We did it! It's so hot, but we did it! I didn't stop and walk at all. Also, I really didn't think about the fact that when you run on a bridge, the first part is uphill to get onto the bridge. So there was that, which made it harder, but we did it! Yay! I was so proud of that 20-minute run. Like, it makes me happy thinking back to it right now. I just felt so good and so proud of myself. And then week 6, day 1, came in and humbled me hard. I just want to warn you about week 6, day 1, because it pulls back a little bit. You're not adding any time. It is supposed to be an easier run, and it was not at all for me. And I ended up Googling it and looking on Reddit to see what people had to say, and everybody was talking about how week 6, day 1 is harder than you expect. I think it's just because you're more tired from doing your first long run at 20 minutes, but I had a rough time. This run does not feel good. My past 2 runs felt so good and so manageable, but this one is just feeling really difficult. I'm in a short walking interval right now, and oh, it's windy, I hope you can hear me, but I'm in a short walking interval right now, and I have one more short run left and then I'm done. And I'm just kind of like, how am I even supposed to get through this last run? I did it. I did it. Week 6, day 3 is a milestone because we are now doing a 22-minute run, which is the longest one yet after it's dialed it back for the past 2 runs after the 20-minute one at the end of week 5. And there are also no more walking breaks in the entire program at this point. For this run, Ross and I decided to go to Prospect Park and run the race route. I haven't even mentioned yet that my husband Ross was running with me a lot. You've seen him in some of these clips now, but he was gonna run the 5K too. He did run the 5K. We both ended up running it. We went to Prospect Park to run the race route. And we knew that we weren't going to get through it in a 22-minute run, but we figured we would run the 22 minutes and then walk the rest just to see what it was like. Unfortunately, it ended up not being the race route. I don't know what happened. I don't know if NYC Runs accidentally put up a different map and then changed it later, or if I like clicked on the wrong thing, but it was a completely different route. But here's some footage of us thinking that we're running the race route. Hi everybody, it is day 3 of week 6 and I'm about to do a very exciting run. I'm currently standing at what will be the finish line of the 5K that I'm running. Ross is here too, and we're gonna be starting here from the finish and working the path backwards for no reason really. We were just kind of at the park and ended up here, so we're gonna do it that way. So 22-minute run. It's gonna be the longest continuous run I've done thus far, and I don't know if we're gonna try to do the whole route. Like maybe we'll walk the rest of the route after the run, or maybe even try to run a little bit extra. I don't know, what do you think?
I guess we'll see how we feel.
We'll see how we feel. It's important to stretch before you run, even if you're in the middle of public and feel stupid and you're pushing your foot against a bridge. Is this a real stretch? Or did you make it up?
I don't know. It feels good on my muscles and stretches me out.
I can tell you this is very tight.
Yeah.
I'm so uncomfortable. This is like when I first started YouTubing and filming in public, like times 12. I'm not having a good time right now, but I'm pretending. Yeah. Okay, so the 22-minute run just ended. I ran 1.53 miles and I lost a shirt in the process. That was really hard. And I like kind of have this mixed sense of pride that I did it, and also just like frustration watching all these other people run faster than me and like knowing they're doing longer distances, and it's just like, oh, I want to be able to do that too, but it's okay. But now we are walking the rest of the 5K route. I also failed to mention that it is currently 84 degrees and very, very sunny. So I'm sure that slowed me down a little bit. So at week 7, it kicks it up. You run 25 minutes for all 3 runs of week 7, 28 minutes for all 3 runs of week 8, and 30 minutes for all 3 runs of week 9. So it's increasing very gradually at that point. Within these 3 weeks, I did start to deviate from the program just a little bit more. I wasn't doing anything crazy. You know, I wasn't like running 25 minutes twice or anything like that. For example, in this next clip I'm about to show you, I ran like a minute and a half extra or something to hit a mileage goal that I had for myself. So I was just doing little things like that sometimes. At this point, you know, I don't have so much to say about each week anymore because they really weren't all that different from one another. I was feeling much stronger, much more confident in my ability to run for longer distances, and I was just getting really excited for the race. This is what it looks like when you do a 2-mile run for the very first time. I am drenched, y'all. I've been like right under 2 miles for the past several runs, and this one I was like, I'm gonna get it. It was supposed to be a 25-minute run. I ended up doing a 26-minute run to get that last little bit, but I did 2.01 miles, and I am burning up. It is so hot and humid outside today. We are now 1 week and 1 day out from the 5K. I'm about to go for a run. I really do not want to run right now. Ross is running with me, and he is entirely my motivation at this time because I have no internal motivation. But I wanted to give you guys a little update. I might have done something just a little bit crazy, just a little bit. I may have signed up for a 4K 2 days before my 5K. My friends were running this 4K, and it benefits arts education in New York City, which is obviously my jam. If you're new here, I studied music. I have a bachelor's in music education. Like, this stuff is very important to me. I teach music lessons still. So I was like, oh, that's such a good cause. And I feel like I'll be running a 4K distance on that day anyway, so I might as well do it as part of a race. But it definitely feels a little crazy. I'm starting to get a little nervous. But I'm gonna go run 28 minutes. It is the first day of week 8. I am so glad that I just forced myself to run. Normally, when I really don't want to run and it is fully a discipline run and there's no joy behind it really, I don't run that well. But this was somehow my best run yet. I felt so good the whole time. I just got home and I'm not panting or anything. My pace was 12:36. I ran for 31 minutes and did 2.5 miles. That is my biggest run yet. I did go a little longer than the app said to, but it felt okay to me. I'm so glad I did it, and I'm now confident that I can at least run the entire 4K I'm doing on Sunday with no walking breaks, and I just feel so good. Hey everybody, I just got back from week 8, day 2. Did a run on the Manhattan Bridge, which is so deceptively difficult. Like, the hill to get onto the bridge is just killer right there at the beginning of the run, and I feel like I never really recover from it, but it's okay. But I wanted to come on here and talk about the weather for my races. Now that we are less than a week out from the races, I can see what the weather's looking like, and I'm stressed about it. So for the 4K on Sunday morning, the weather looks fabulous. It's gonna be clear skies, sunny, in the mid-60s when the race is taking place. Amazing, I love that. However, the 5K on Tuesday, there's a high of 90 degrees that day. At the time that the run begins, it looks like it's going to be roughly 85 degrees. And it keeps going back and forth on whether it's gonna rain or not right before the race. Not during, just right before. But that is gonna make it so humid if it does. And I'm nervous about that, you guys. That's gonna be the longest distance that I've run in weather like that. Yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. It's Friday, and I just finished the last run before my races. The first one is on Sunday, and Ross is here, and we're in Domino Park again. So if you remember, I ran to Domino Park a while back, but I was still moving a lot more slowly than I am now, and I took a bunch of walking breaks, but this time we ran all the way here, no walking breaks, and it feels great. And it's really hot and humid today, and I'm kind of glad because that's gonna help me prepare for the awful 5K weather on Tuesday. Also, I got this thing, this like water belt bag thing, and it felt a little weird running with it on, but it was nice to have water, and I think I'll get used to it. I don't really need water running at these distances, but I think I've pretty much decided that I want to keep running and learning to run long distances, so I'll need it eventually. TBD on if I'm going to wear it to the 5K or not. I'm definitely not going to wear it to the 4K, but I don't know about the 5K because it's going to be really hot. Okay, so as you just saw, it was pouring rain while we were on the boat, and it had not stopped raining when we got off of the boat, so we ended up running an extra mile because running home seemed like a better option than walking in that rain. So the next footage I have to show you are my race day vlogs. The 4K ended up being the first run of week 9, and the 5K ended up being the second. I did finish the entire program. I ran the last run of week 9 later that week after the 5K. But before we get into the race day vlog footage, I just want to give my final thoughts on the Just Run app. I really like it. I would recommend it to anybody. I love how simple it is, and that you don't have to think about what you're doing, and that you have a program just ready for you, telling you exactly what to do in a way that is going to be safe and it's not going to be overwhelming. I love the simplicity of the app. There's nothing complicated about it. I did also use my Fitbit and the Fitbit app to log each run so I could see my pace and my heart rate and things like that. That's not what this app is for. This one is just to tell you what to do, and I really like that about it. I think what causes me to lose interest with fitness things easily is that I'm never sure what exactly I should be doing. So it was really nice to have something just tell me, this is what you need to do, this is when you need to do it. So without further ado, let's watch the race days. We've made it. We're finally here. Good morning. It's race day. If you would have told me a few months ago that I would be voluntarily waking up at 6:30 in the morning on a Sunday to take the train over an hour deep into Queens to a park I've never been to run with a bunch of people, and that I would be excited about it, I would have been like, no, wrong person. I have to leave in about 15 minutes, and I'm having 1 cup of coffee. Really, I've only had a few sips of it. I'm not normally even up this early, much less like wanting to have coffee and food, but I'm also trying to have this Cliff Bar because I need to. I should. But my eye is really irritating me right now, and I need to put my contacts in. I hate running in my glasses. It's already bright out there. I'm gonna want my sunglasses, but it feels like I'm getting a sty or something. It's not comfortable. Also, sorry, I'm like half whispering, but Ross is obviously asleep like everybody else at this hour on a Sunday. I'm acting like it's so early. Some people just get up this early or earlier than this all the time. Like, it's not that early, but for me it is. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling a little bit nervous. Not so much about being able to do the run. I know I can do the run, but just about running with a bunch of other people and making sure I'm like up on race etiquette. Like I keep being afraid I'm gonna do something stupid. I don't know. Also, this appears to not be a very big race. It looked like there were about 50 people in it, which is not that many. And so I was like, oh no, what if I come in dead last? I feel like if there are thousands of people or something, I'm not gonna come in last, but 50, I could maybe come in last. I feel like I look barely awake, but I'm about to head out. I'm gonna show you what I'm taking. I'm taking my sunglasses. I'm wearing this little bag with little wallet with debit card, ID, keys, chapstick, AirPods. The siren, I don't have time to wait for it. Anyway, here's the look. A little over halfway.
Go, Hannah!
So I just got home a little while ago, took a shower, I changed into my race shirt. I did not run in this, don't worry, it's clean. But just wanted to talk a little bit about it. So I'm feeling really proud that I ran my first race. It was hosted by Midori and Friends, and the proceeds from the race benefit them. They're an organization that provides music education to schools around New York City that don't have it, which is really awesome. So a little show and tell. We've got my bib here. My first ever bib. My number was 36. Okay. I almost feel like this doesn't count. Well, you guys, I placed 3rd overall for women. I'll put my little medal on. Very exciting. But I just want to be clear that there were 42 people running this thing. Not many. I placed 15th overall. And a lot of people were walking. So like, this is cool and I'm proud, but also like I'm not really that deserving of this little plastic medal, but still cool. It was just a really fun, wholesome morning with friends. I ran with friends. We had a team of 5 people and it was just a lot of fun, and you know, supporting something like music education that's so important to me, and being in a group of other people that it was also important to them. Like, it was just a really nice, like, morning of community, I guess. This race, like I said, was very small. It was 42 people. It was very, very laid back. And it's just gotten me even more excited for the 5K on Tuesday. I think that one's gonna feel a little bit more like what I expected a race to feel like, but I think this was definitely a good little like ease my way into a race kind of situation. I did run the whole thing. I didn't have to walk at all, but, and this is something that I'm going to take with me into the next race and try to do better. Right before, my friend Jack said, just don't start too hard. Okay, you find somebody going at a moderate pace and make it a point to stay behind them for the first 5 minutes or so. Is that what I did? No, absolutely not. I flew out of there and didn't even realize that I was doing it until a few minutes later when I realized I couldn't breathe, which, you know, is not a thing that I normally do when I'm just running by myself. So I need to be really aware of that going forward. But it was a really fun day. I'm glad I did it. And now I have this cute purple shirt and my little award. Well, we are here. It is the day. The time is now. The day is here. It is 5 o'clock-ish on Tuesday, June 18th, and we are about to head to Prospect Park for the 5K. The past 9-ish weeks have been leading up to this evening, and I'm really excited, but conditions are not optimal, y'all. It is hot outside, and I slept like absolute garbage last night. And I'm also kind of convincing myself I have a stomach ache, but I'm not sure if I actually do or if I'm just freaking myself out. But Yeah, it's time. It's time. We're going. I'm not taking anything except my waste water bag thing that I got, and I'm just gonna have AirPods, keys, and a debit card in there. This is it. I'm excited. I don't really have a goal time in mind. You know, this is my first ever 5K. I just want to run it. The only thing that's kind of like been in my brain this whole time is I want to do it in less than 40 minutes, which like isn't that dramatic at all. So we will see what happens. Oh, I also didn't think to say just then, and maybe this is interesting or helpful, or I don't know, food. Last night I ate spaghetti for dinner because I heard pasta was good before these things. And then today I just had some chicken and fries for lunch, and I honestly didn't really want it. I haven't had much of an appetite all day. And I've been drinking a Fairlife protein shake. Love Fairlife. Y'all know I love Fairlife. We're here, all checked in with our bibs. We picked up our t-shirts and we're ready to go. And it doesn't start for 40 minutes. So now I just get to sit here and twiddle my thumbs. I'm trying my bib on my leg this time. Last time I wore it like on the fanny pack I wore. But I think this might be better.
How you feeling?
I wish it was like time to go now.
Yeah.
Like sitting here is not it. I'm feeling so much better about the weather right now because the sun is kind of going behind the trees and there's a nice breeze, so it's not totally miserable. We're on the way to the start line. Welcome everyone! How's all the runners feeling in Prospect Park tonight? Thank you so much for being here. I did it! Oh, and there's Ross. He also did it. You guys, I just got my official time. 39:46. I barely broke that 40-minute goal, but I did it. My pace was 12:48. So I'm not mad about it. Ross's time, what was your time? Ross's time was 33:44. You're so fast. The pace of, it was 10 something.
10:58.
10:58?
Something like that.
You're so fast. Woo. You should run more. I feel like you could be really, really good.
Or an MTA employee. Thanks for riding with us.
When I put running a 5K on my vision board for 2024, there was honestly not a ton of intention behind it. I felt like I'd been pretty stagnant and just lazy with fitness in the year prior, so I knew I wanted something fitness related on there. I'd never ran a race before, so it just seemed like something tangible and fun to check off a list of goals. But honestly, it was also just that I was having trouble setting goals and intentions for the year because I was just feeling very stagnant and unsure of what I wanted to do next. And a 5K seemed like a relatively easy thing to put on there and be able to check off. I had absolutely no idea that this only half thought out goal that I put on a vision board would turn into this newfound love of running and this hobby that I don't intend on giving up anytime soon. I really thought that I would just run the 5K and then be done with it. I've never been athletic or sporty. I've always been, you know, the artsy, creative, musical type. When I was in school, I was in band and theater. I wasn't, you know, a basketball player or on the track team or anything like that. And I feel like I've always had this hang up about anything athletic, that I'm just not good at it and I can't do it. And it's really cool to see that I can do it. I went into this whole thing terrified to run outside because I thought that people were gonna stare at me or make fun of me because I wasn't running fast enough or looked like I was struggling, which none of that's happened, by the way. But I found that I really love running outside, and I'm really, really happy to share that I have signed up for another 5K that is less than a month from when you are watching this, if you're watching it when it comes out. The 5K is on August 4th. And even more exciting, I am planning to run a 10K at the end of October. So if any of you watching this right now are a new runner or you're thinking about starting to run, I will be your biggest cheerleader. I encourage you to give it a try. It's been honestly life-changing for me, and I hope it might be for you as well. If it's not, that's okay too. There's absolutely nothing to lose in giving it a shot. You might find something that you really love to do, or you might just, you know, work your cardiovascular system a little bit and then decide you're done, which is also good. You know, there's nothing to lose here. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like for me. It helps the YouTube algorithm to know to push my videos out to other awesome people like you. Subscribe for new videos every single Saturday, and I'll see you in the next one.